Right time, Kenneth.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. Um, Welcome to another episode of the Black Market Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Jerome Vincent, also known as the Market Prodigy.
What's going on, everybody? Got Raheem the Dream checking in. Happy Friday, Junior.
Aha.
And 4K Ken checking in, man. Just wanted to hope everybody's having a good day.
Checking in.
Here's Jamie. I don't have a cool nickname. I guess I'll go with J Dub.
J-Dub, that'll work. That'll work.
There it is.
Man, okay.
I mean, it's not the Haitian sensation.
We
Man,
get a good nickname. It'll come.
You know.
Please ignore him.
the Haitian sensation.
Listen here, everybody can't grow up in Jamaica like me.
Right. I hope you invest in those Jamaican stocks that you have down there. Good money.
I could. But let's go ahead and jump in there. What's hot today? I know a lot of stuff went on in the market today. Who wants?
Look, I know we got some news today that had came in for us. That made it. That's why I had that big parabolic move at the beginning of the day when it popped off.
What you got for us?
Yeah.
There was some CPI to CPI news, which is it had good news actually. We had some good news, so
You said that's CPI.
yep, the consumer price index went up.
Mm.
So that's good. That's good for us.
You know any stocks in particular?
That it impacted. Well, it really impacted the Nasdaq and the big indexes. That's where you saw the big reflection. So you look at 9:30. That's when that news, or actually 8:30 when that news dropped. The market wasn't even open.
Oh,
8:30.
you know what? Let me show this. That's what I was looking for. Let me show this on my screen really quick because I was trying to figure out for the life of me this morning. If you guys can see my screen really quick.
Yeah, it did a mean went to the opposite direction before it started getting back right.
Oh my God! Look at this on the 5 minute chart right here. So this is exactly that's what happened. So you can see around this time frame. This is at 8:10. This is right at about 8:30. You said that CPI news came out.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened. What we're seeing here. This is the Nasdaq, and we saw this thing shoot up. Oh my goodness! I mean, it closed yesterday at about 336. That news came out. And this thing, oh my gosh, it took off and kept running. It got all the way up to $340. And I was watching it this morning. When it got up to about 337, I was excited. And then I saw it kept going to 338 and 339. Then my stomach started to hurt because I knew.
It was a test, boy. It was a test, boy, to see what you were gonna do.
I knew what was gonna happen next. And boy, did it happen. I mean, look at this. And that pullback afterwards because it shot up so high.
Yeah.
Look at this stock that I was in this morning. I was in Rocket this morning. Look how this thing plummeted because it's I mean, gosh, when the Nasdaq started to drop, this stock dropped with it. And oh my God.
Hey, but see, we all right though, because the only reason that it dropped is because of that news that came out.
I mean, look at this other stock that I was in earlier, Viac. Look at what that Nasdaq drop did to it. It dropped from 42 all the way down to 41, but in terms of percentage points, you see that same trend, and you see the power of that index pulling everything down.
Right. It is true, man. That's some little sauce right there for anybody out there who beginner traders. You want to kind of get an idea of what the overall market is doing.
Oh yeah, always. I mean, when I was trying to promote this show earlier today, I said we were going to be giving out some free game today. That's what you're looking at here. One of my setups that I have is I'm constantly looking at. I look at the S&P and I look at the Nasdaq every single day. Like I'm actually, I do my research on my stocks, but I'm always looking at the S&P and the Nasdaq because I know that a huge drop on the S&P or the Nasdaq. In this case, you see both of them dropping early morning at the same time. I know it's going to have like a pull down effect on other stocks.
Right.
So you
Gives
see,
you like a lot of things going on.
oh yeah. So yeah, very wise to keep an eye on those.
Hey, on that consumer on that CP, another thing on that CPI news, the index for car and truck rentals is on the rise of 12%.
So why would people be renting cars and trucks more now?
Hey, they got side.
Vacation.
They got
Vacation. You gotta be able to get from place to place.
Yeah.
Things are turning back to normal.
Joker been traveling. That's it all over it right there. Let's see. And then let's see, used cars and trucks increased 29%.
So
did we talk about that episode about the shortage of vehicles?
yeah, we talked about
Vehicles too.
the shortage of vehicles, how the cost of vehicles is going up, all of that stuff. It's all hand in hand because low supply or whatever, they're lesser being coming off the production line, so you got low supply. So now the prices are getting hiked up, and it's not just the new cars, but they're saying it's the used cars too.
Supply chain all over the place. Which is going up and down. Inflation is slowly but surely happening.
So
Inflation.
yeah,
Stay away from Ride. Ride took a little dive since they put out their report that said that they don't know if they'll be able to eventually keep up their position right now with developing up the cars. So they took the dip because of that.
Ooh, they don't know if they're gonna be able to keep on developing their car.
you know what?
They'll maintain the financial position that they have now. So it's almost like they're trying to figure things out and make sure they can stable footing. So they probably will be fine, but right now, you can't think of that. Your stock's gonna go down in the interim.
Dang. I would think that they would actually be, in a better situation with Biden supporting all the green energy and stuff like that.
You know what?
But especially finance anyway, because we know that the government print out the money.
Right. I don't know what they've got going on. Like they're just on a roller coaster ride. No pun intended here. So it's like there's a story behind the data that we see here. So what I've got here, this was actually on Tuesday. It hit a high around $15 and it dropped all the way down to about $8, $9. And this is when I got in the our premium chat yesterday, and I told everybody, and I said, hey, it's making a rebound. And it started rebounding because in the news they announced that they were going to continue production. So they made that announcement, and you see where it started to rebound here, and it rebounded from $8 all the way up to about $13. So I'm guessing that sometime between that announcement and today, like today, it just moved sideways. But I will tell you this. Anytime I see a hot stock with a lot of volatility, and I know that it's hot and it's very popular and it's moving sideways, usually something big is happening. This stock rarely just moves sideways. So this right here, I see this as a consolidation move right here. These three lines that I have right here, I'm looking at my 20-day average, my 50-day average, and my 200-day average. When my 20-day and my 50-day start to move back up toward my 50-day and cross, that shows me I see that consolidation right here tomorrow.
Who you see talking about right here that started back up production?
Yesterday.
Who is it?
This is Ride.
Oh, right. Oh, so they just started back up.
They got knocked offline, so that's why you saw that plunge there, going from $15 the day before all the way down to $10, and then it kept going the next day, and then they made an announcement, and that's when you saw that spike there. So I think you saw that spike. People sold off just a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think it's consolidating right here, and I think we're gonna see a strong move either tomorrow or Monday for this stock. I would not be surprised if that happened.
Hey, we know they backed by the government, man. They bring anything clean.
Back up. They're too far along
Right.
to fail at this point. If worst case scenario will be absorbed, but that's not going to happen. The price market that they control is almost like that. Interesting, like that type of market. And what they're going to do, they're at least going to do pretty well, in my opinion.
Are one of you guys looking at YouTube? Do you have YouTube pulled up?
Cancel that.
You might want, because we're getting some feedback. Sounded like it stopped. Yeah. That's perfect now.
What you had to say? You had to change the mic up, change it up over there.
Yeah.
Over there.
Hey, we all engineers, man. We gotta get it in.
Yeah.
So, another trend that I noticed today, and Jamie, you might want to talk about this one, is hydrogen fuel cell technology or hydrogen gas. What's going on with that technology?
Yep. I've been reading up a couple of articles and a couple of doing my research on that end, and it seems like the hydrogen, they've always felt like it was on the cusp of blowing up to the point of it, clean energy and climate change a priority right now. They've really been trying to figure out the best way to incorporate hydrogen into the mix. And the biggest thing for them is hydrogen needs to be stored and transported at a very low temperature, and that's making things a lot cost prohibitive and also more volatile when they transport things. So one thing that they're looking at now in terms of hydrogen is they're looking at ammonia, because with ammonia is great abundance. It's already being used in a lot of industries in mass, and it's easy to transport because they've already worked on the logistics. So with hydrogen, once they're able to in their regards to hydrogen and how ammonia links is,
So
they can transport ammonia, get it to where it needs to go, and they can use chemical processes to produce hydrogen gas that can be used.
oh man, we got a chemistry class here. I feel like we back in Breaking Bad.
Where's your whiteboard at?
Hey, but you know what? Let's take a step back. So why hydrogen gas? So are we looking at hydrogen gas as like a replacement of batteries? Is this still an alternate form of energy? So what's the fascination with hydrogen?
Nikola tried to do that for the semi truck.
Yep. So that's what's going on here. So just so that everybody understands. So right now, the issue with batteries is that they're not as efficient. They're working on that battery storage technology and ways to efficiently store large amounts of power. So in terms of energy, like fuels, to store that energy, gas is another way to do it. So what they do is they convert that electricity to like a gas in that process. There's a process where they convert it to gas, and then they can store it in the form of gas and then convert it back to electricity. And they can do that more efficiently than they can just storing that charge inside of a battery. And then think about gas. Gas is not super heavy or whatever, and it's easier to transport. And like what Jamie is saying now is that now that they're seeing that, hey, we can do this with gas, Now we're running into some extra obstacles right now of, hey, it has to be at a certain temperature and all this other stuff so that we can stabilize it while we're transporting this gas. But this is no different than hydroelectric, a hydro plant or whatever, because that's what we do there, is that we use that. It goes back to kinetic energy and potential energy. So with the water, that water is your energy. The water comes off the waterfall, turns to turbines. Turbines create electricity. You're going from the water being at the top to potential energy, converting that potential energy, because the higher it is, the harder it falls. The harder it falls, the more it turns that turbine, the more electricity that you have. And then at the end, they're going to take that water and then they pump it back up to the top of the mountain, and it flows back down again. They pump it back to the top and it flows back down. So you're using that water over and over and over to create electricity. Here with hydrogen gas, the only difference is you going through your different states of matter. Instead of water, you're using gas now. So you're just converting it to gas until you get ready to use it.
Right, and it burns cleaner too, because once you burn hydrogen, oxygen produces water, and water is something that people use, and that's like easily you can take that water and you can split the atoms again, reuse it again and again. So the byproduct of all the of burning hydrogen is just a lot cleaner versus batteries, where and that's it. You have to find a way to take out that little bit extra energy, but after that you have to put it in waste, and that's kind of not good for the environment.
That's one of the big things in the industry right now. Everything is about clean air. That's how we got to EV in the first place. So with EV, we started thinking about batteries, and then from there we branched off into not just batteries with clean energy, but then we started getting into hydrogen. So now we start looking at, okay, now we see the technology. What are the key players behind this technology? Who are the main players here? So that's when we start to see F-Cell, we start to see Nikola, we start to see
you talking about the key players.
Plug Power.
You said F-Cell, didn't you?
Oh yeah. So I'll show.
You've been talking about that for a minute. Hey,
Man, I've been telling people that F-Cell. Oh my God, it's like hydrogen gas and F-Cell. That's like the new Bluetooth. Everybody's gonna catch on to this. So F-Cell, for our premium chat people, I let them know yesterday that, hey, F-Cell had an earnings report yesterday. No, they had an earnings report this morning. But yesterday they were up as high as $12.49, but they actually dipped down because of the earnings. That their earnings wasn't as high as people expected, but it dipped down to about $9. But that doesn't mean that this stock is just bad. Some people just didn't interpret. They didn't interpret the news.
Great entry point.
Another, it's called a sale instead of a sell.
Yeah. So really, when you look at this thing and you go out to your 1 year analysis of this thing, we see how the explosive capability of this stock, where it came in trading, oh my goodness, at like a $2.50, and it grew from $2.50 all the way to almost $30. Now, since then, this was just in February, guys, where this thing was at $30. We see it's gone all the way down to $6.36. So when you put this into perspective here, getting this thing right now at $10 is an absolute steal. And this is just one of them. This is F-Cell. You're gonna see a trend here.
You said plugs too.
And they all have the same profile.
Long-term one.
That's right. Plug is, and they all went down at the same time. Look at what happened at Plug. It peaked this year at $75, right there in late January, early February. It started to drop all the way down to $19, and just like what we saw with F-Cell, it started to rebound. Right now it's at $31, but remember, it was at 75. This is a hot area. Another one that we saw was Nikola. And look at this one.
Hey, but see what Nicola had. Well, what Nicola gonna do? I thought they said they couldn't even get the trucks to work. They ain't even had an idea together or something.
They didn't, but I think that they are starting to get their ducks in a row because they are starting to rebound as well. I mean, and then there's another one.
Well, if they don't get the trucks, just the fact of having the hydrogen energy idea is a step up.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then this is another sleeper. A lot of people don't know about ballot power systems. Like Bloom Energy, those things. This is another one. Like people kind of sleep on this one. It's not like quite a household name, but you see the same profile. It got all the peaked at $42 in early February, dropped all the way down, and it's starting to rebound. $18 with the potential to get back to 40. These are steals, and they're all starting to pick up right now. This is the time.
Stocks while they're already going up, because sometimes when they're going up, that means the pullback is happening sooner or later. And you don't want to catch it right before it hits the peak and it comes back down. So Warren Buffett said before, like if you see it's not probably best advice to buy a stock while it's continuously going up that well. You should probably
Oh my God! I mean,
that way you can stretch your money and you can make it work for you. So he's brilliant, man. So I would follow him.
Yeah, that buy the dip, man. That will save you lots of money. It will earn you lots of money here. I mean, they talk about it in retail and everything else, but we know that, okay, usually you want to see, you've got technical analysis, but usually you're looking for a catalyst in the news for this really to spark. A lot of times that catalyst might be an earnings report, but in this case, we know that the catalyst was really behind your president. Your president with this new infrastructure bill. How many trillions of dollars did he pledge to this? And he said, at the forefront of this, it was going to be clean energy. It's going to be the EV. These guys are poised.
Every stock has a story, and the story sometimes is what supports it, what propels it. Sometimes it brings it down. So
that's right. I mean,
we've mind the story and the articles that go along with all of these things. Analysis is a good part of it, but also the story behind it will allow you to see sometimes long term, especially for those who are trying to look for the medium term and long term. Those stories will benefit you a lot more.
Yeah, once you start getting funding and legislation behind it, and then you start getting this clean energy, we know that's the trend right now. These stocks right here, they're checking off all these boxes right here. Those are going to be the next ones. We saw last year last year was the year of EV, when we started seeing like the Neos of the world. I hate to keep going back here, but like last year it was Neo, it was Lee, it was, of course we all know about Tesla. We don't have to show that, but look at Neo. Started out at $10 last year, got all the way up to $66. You got your Lees of the world, that another Chinese EV company, that got up to $47. Xpeng, XPEV was one too. We see them last year, but we're not seeing that explosive growth from EV like we did. Even what was it? CCIV. I hadn't even heard anybody talk about Canoe this year. CCIV, goodness gracious, that thing started out as a SPAC at $10 and jumped all the way up to $64. But what were we just talking about? Buying the dip. And then
people have started to use that as a thing of how they trade. A lot of beforehand you would see maybe a retest, and
I tell you what,
popular trading.
I'll show you what the problem is. This is the problem. These meme stocks are the problem instead of fundamental and technical analysis.
Long term, man.
Drop down today. GameStop got the dip. What y'all
Yeah. So
We're
this
just
was,
talking about now is the time to you make or break it. Are you a true
You gonna
A?
go ahead? Yeah.
Right.
This-
Now's the time you real.
I mean, is it or is it gonna go all the way down? Because that's what this is my segue where I wanted to talk about a little bit was with these meme stocks here. They all pulled back today for some reason. So is Wall Street Bets, is Reddit, are they
I know why I started to pull back. I started to pull back because
I mean,
now they're going to start to monitor these meme stocks, and they're going to
I
start.
mean, but that was already supposed to happen, and we see these.
But they were talking, but now they actually like.
I mean, look how explosive this is. Just June 1st, this thing was up to $73 and it's pulled back to $41.
With trying to monitor things, we're gonna start regulating trades. We're gonna start looking into
And then, but it was supposed to do it and then go away. But why? But why are they reinvesting in it? Look at GameStop on this parabolic move that it had back in back toward the end of January. That's ridiculous. Getting up to 486 from $10. Man, it was so many millionaires made off of that. But look, but that's the thing. Like this has nothing to do with how well GameStop is doing, but it got back up to 344. Now we see just like AMC, we had a pullback today. There's some other key players now. There's BlackBerry. I mean, what does BlackBerry do right now? What do they produce right now?
Hey, I heard BlackBerry's just
Well, they make a comeback, so there might be another reason to buy
they
something.
just did good. Yeah.
Listen here, BlackBerry is investing all this money from their share, from their stock price going up. But like we've got to look at this. Like look at this how it peaked here, went down, and just in the last couple of weeks, they've all started to go up. We saw AMC spike up. We saw GameStop spike up. What's another Bed Bath and Beyond?
Right. Okay. There.
Another meme. Oh my God! Like that's ridiculous. Look at that strong volume there, going from 27 all the way to 44 on just a straight green streak there. That's ridiculous.
Do you all think that it's worth it? Essentially, you can't trade volume. There's nothing you can do to get people to go and buy your stock. So, do you think that's something? If essentially you're trading volume instead of trading as a normal idea or a normal thought process?
Hey, I like trading volume.
At this point, it's kind of just run with it.
It's a popularity contest.
But you gotta know though where the volume going.
You gotta keep your fingers close. Yes.
We talked about this on the last episode. You are playing a dangerous game. Like we saw those are pure parabolic moves where you go in and you walk away and go to the bathroom and you come back and you lost $3,000. That you trying to figure out what you about to buy with that money and you come back and it is gone. Before you know it,
AMC funded, Doge funded.
Hey, I want to say two things about those meme stocks. So first with BlackBerry, I said they did do a partnership. I just looked back. They did partner with a China-based automotive parts manufacturer for some LCD screens. So
one thing I will say about BlackBerry is they're pretty good with security. Like their security is unmatched when it comes to a lot of other, end-to-end communication. So that could be another reason why, to Raheem's point, they
There you go.
You know,
that security breach. Yeah.
Cybersecurity big right now.
That could be part of what it is.
I always go back to this when you start looking at companies and you have to adapt to change. And I always look at Polaroid and how they never adapted to change. And then, we start getting these smartphones and now they had the integrated cameras on there. Now, you had, the Kodak moments and the Polaroids or whatever, like they went out of business because they didn't change. But look at BlackBerry, like these companies that can continue to adapt and reinvent themselves. And BlackBerry is like, okay, this is what we were known for. That's gone. Either we can fold and go somewhere, or we can start reinvesting some money into some R&D and get into another industry.
Hey, and that's where I see. That's one good thing about out of the main stocks. Why not choose one that actually has
Right.
benefit?
This one has potential. I mean, GameStop was up a little bit. Granted, people probably were playing video games a little bit more, but the stores were GameStop. It's a bricks and mortar store. They were closed.
Physical copies.
I know. And I don't know what kind of online presence that GameStop had prior to COVID.
They did not have that big of a presence.
So it's not even because of that. So yeah, you throw them out. And then what was the other one that I saw? Like a Beyond Meats. I have no clue what that was about.
Yeah. That was a main stock too.
Oh,
that was supposed to be like the new. Well, you remember when all of that came out about eating, the health benefits.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, hey, another main stock. I didn't even know this was a main stock. CLNE.
yeah, that's what I was.
Energy fuel.
That's what I was about to show you guys. Matter of fact, we'll just scroll through here really quick. Like I was looking at an article today. Some of the ones I didn't know. They're starting to make Clover one. I know about Clover as a low float penny stock.
Is that turning into one?
That's what they're saying. These are ones that are starting. They're starting to hit new pennies, new meme stocks now. I didn't know that Clover was in there.
Known for what is Clover? What's that company?
Health investments.
Health investments.
Okay.
Like any of those like pharmaceutical companies. I thought it was just in that mix. And then we have another one here. This KOSS. I see that one pop up a lot too.
Well, hey, either way, out of all these, you got BlackBerry with a cybersecurity, major new frontier, and then you got this clean energy company, major new frontier.
Right. So that's why I started to look at it now. When I look at this list, I see GameStop. No, they're playing around with that. AMC, right. They're playing around with it. But if you really trying to make some money off of this and you really want to ride that wave, look at clean energy fuels. We just talked about clean energy and how that's the future. And this thing is only at $10.99. Huh.
Hey,
Well, wait until it's 21.
I already got some open on BlackBerry right now.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I was going to put another bit in this time. I said I usually don't do it. Hey, I put my little bit in so far. Just sitting now.
How much is BlackBerry going for right now?
Shit, I just got a little option contract for like a little dub.
So for the people out there who don't
dub into two racks real quick.
Right. So let's talk about options real quick because a lot of people they're new to this, especially new retail people that the meme stocks or whatever. They don't understand that the real game is not stocks at all. It's on options. Options were created as insurance for your stocks. For instance, if you had at least 100 shares or something and you're thinking that the price of it is going to rise, just in case you want to kind of hedge your bets, just in case that price drops, you start losing money. So you go and purchase you some insurance on your investment in the form of an option contract to say, okay, in the case that it goes down and you bet that it goes down on your option contract, you'll make money in case it goes down, but you'll still be able to keep your initial investment in your stocks. But then people got smart and they said, well, what if I don't even want to trade stocks in the first place? Can I just trade the option contracts? And yes, you can. And the thing about it is, just like you said, Raheem, is like you have even more leverage with contracts than you do with stocks. And a lot of people don't know that. One contract allows you to control 100 stocks. 2 contracts, 200 stocks. If you can afford 10 contracts, you are controlling 1,000 shares of a stock. 1,000. But the kicker here is you're like, oh man, I got all this, but you got in at a fraction of a price. So that's when you can see what Raheem was saying was like, okay, I can put up $100 and I can make $1,000. I can put up $10 and I can turn it into $300. And how is it that you can turn that small of an amount into that large of an amount? It's through leverage. Now, this right here is what separates the beginners from the experts, because yes, there's more risk involved with stocks because it's not a guessing game, because there's a time component to it. They expire. So you have to know when this stock is going to go, what's the direction that it's going, and how long is it going to take to get there. So, so it's not just guessing at that point. So there actually is some skill to this, but you are highly rewarded for that skill. And why you got?
You can't get attached to your trade.
I get passionate about this when it comes to money like this. When I know that I've made thousands of dollars in an hour. When I see on my screen, like in real time, $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 in seconds, that's off an option contract. You're not gonna get movement like that, or the average person can't afford 500 shares of something that's not a penny stock. A penny stock, folks, is not going to move like that. You're going to have to purchase like $100 per share stock to get that kind of movement, but you can get that movement almost every day with an option contract.
I mean, another thing to highlight too is the difference in kind of mindset that options requires. And a lot of times with stock, we get caught up in, we know what this stock is doing, we know how it's usually performed and that kind of thing, versus options requires you to have a different philosophy, looking farther out in the calendar. So, not getting attached, maybe that's something we talk about as well. How do you all kind of balance that with, you take these options plays and have done your history or homework behind them, not getting caught up and swept up in that trade?
Man. Well, with us, that's the benefit of trading with us. Like that's what we bring to the table, and that kind of analysis. Like we're in this age, we have data at our fingertips, but we know how to go and get that information. Like we can go out there and we have people who do programming in house where we're constantly sifting through all of that data. People leave numeric cookie crumbs or that show, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm purchasing 1 million shares of these things. Things like insider trading. And
it's not by happenstance.
Right, and then people don't know that, hey, these big hedge fund companies, the SEC, they have to file with the SEC. When I'm making these trades, so it's not like they just happen. Back when it was on actual Wall Street, when they were down on the floor, it used to be the key players, the people with the big money, when they knew something that was about to happen, they would go there, and that's why they call them front runners or whatever, where you go, and then once you see that person right there who always has a lot of money and always knows, hey, I'm doing whatever he's doing. You just follow him, whatever line he goes to and whatever he's putting his money on, hey, you better do this. You better do the same thing. But the difference now is that you can't see these people anymore physically because, they're not trading with pieces of paper anymore, and you can't see them putting it in. But what's happened is now you still can see them putting it in. It's just in a electronic format. So you go to those SEC files and you follow the smart money.
And that's the best part about the stock market is just the fact that you have a record of everything going. I know that's your whole point you were saying, just though, right?
Oh yeah, you got a record of it, but that's why you need people like us. Like you've got information here, you got information here, but you got to be. It's not enough to know what they're trading because you got to know that okay, hey, is there a news story building behind this? Does it make sense? Are they betting? Are they buying or selling? They're saying that they're active in this, but are they buying this? Are they selling this? Is there some kind of other setup play that I don't know about? And how long is this going to happen? Because I mean, people like me and you know, I might be talking to some millionaires out there, but I'm not there yet. But I plan on being one. But until then, I don't have the money to be going out there and buying a whole bunch of stocks and just sitting on them. You know, I need my capital to be free to do other things. So, but that time component is precious. You know, you want to know not only what's going to happen and what's going to move, but when. If you don't know when,
Set yourself up, you're wrong. Hey, I just want to go back. You were talking about the millionaires. I just want to hit on this and talk about the millionaires.
let's go.
Just think about the millionaires out here. And, you know, people that got all this money, rappers, you know, entertainers, all these folks like that. Mm-hmm. If they just took 1 second or just a little, just 1 month to take the time.
Boy, listen here. Boy, I could turn a millionaire into a billionaire.
A super fat option play. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. And
they ain't even worried about it.
And most people, they run to real estate or whatever because they think that's the only, you know, lucrative play out there or whatever. Like I'm a proponent. I'm for anything that can make you money. You can do real estate too, but you can do both of them. You can keep going back and forth, run your money up in the real estate or whatever. But your profits that you get from that, flip it in the market, and then guess what? You got money. You got flip money to go get your next property. Forget going to the bank. Forget going to a hard money lender. You got your money cash. You your own lender.
But that requires planning, though. That requires sometimes you have to see an actual strategic move where you can benefit off of that small market move. Then, you put a larger amount of money in small market move.
That's what I'm talking about, Kendall. That's what I'm talking about right now. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But see, well, I would think these people, like, you know, these, entertainers and rappers or whatever, I would think they would have at least real financial advisors that trade their money actively.
They do. If they smart, well, if they do, this is what happens. You take these people, the people who are smart enough that may not be smart enough. What they do is they go take their money to big bad like Goldman Sachs or something like that, and then they pay him to trade their money, and he's gonna put their money into like an ETF or something like that, or he's gonna trade an indice or whatever, and you know however that indice is doing, you know this is like what I showed last week when you trade. It's not, but the indices like they're so hit and miss. Like we looking at the NASDAQ today, it's showing that hey, because of that report that you showed us at the beginning of the day, this is why the NASDAQ had such a great day because of that consumer pricing index or whatever. It turned out great for them. Russell, not so much. They're in the red all over the place. You see loss more. It was a down day for the Russell 2000. Most of them had losses.
As soon as you go and pay someone from JP Morgan, you lose the autonomy over your own trades, and that's important. So you could at least have a perspective of what you're involved in, and then.
But like.
You said that's kind of like a way to kind of get into it, warm up and get into it, kind of. That what you're saying?
I think it's something if you just take the time. I mean, if you have enough, I guess, savings or some type of money, it makes sense to just take the time to be able to see where you can allocate it, as opposed to just.
Right, you should do that. Yeah.
Well, I feel like some of those brokerages, they do like this lazy trading where they can easily get you 10 to 15% just by putting it in an ETF. But when you trade with us, like we laugh at 10 to 15%. We get excited about 100%, 200%. Hey, I know my boy about to say he had 1,000. 1,000%. You got to put that into perspective. Like people don't understand like how big that is. Like the differences between when you put your it's so much. You got to think about money. Okay, I have $100 or I have $1,000. What am I gonna do with my $1,000? I can put it under my mattress and it just stays there and it's not collecting any money. I can put put that money in a savings account or whatever, and what's the percentage that you gonna in interest that you gonna earn off of that?
1%.
Less than 1%.
0.01% or whatever. Then you start getting into like mutual funds and CDs and stuff like that. The downside of those is what you can't touch your money for how long?
For how long?
For how long you can't access it, and then what's the most that you can get off of? I don't know. What is it? 5%? I don't even care if it was 10%.
Right.
That's still like not that great. And then you have like dividends or whatever, and a great dividend is like 5%, maybe even 10% if you're really looking like with those REITs or whatever. But when but it still takes a while to get it. We're talking about over the course of a quarter of a year or a whole year. But the way we're trading in terms of sometimes day trading, sometimes swing trading, we're getting into a trade, and in one day we're getting you 100% on your investment, 200%. When you put it into perspective of how we went from nothing to you keeping it at home to 0.01 to 1% to 5% to 15%, but then our method of 100%, 200%, 500%, 1,000%. Not in weeks, not in months, but we're talking about in days.
Look, Jerome, let me tell you, one of my homeboys told me he got the financial advisor, and he was telling me, I said, man, this is a pretty good skill to pick up. And he said, man, I don't got time to be trying to learn something, learn all this new stuff. I already pay somebody, I already get somebody to do my money. And get what I had? I said, tell me, how much % return do you get from that? This joker said 10 or 15%.
And he was happy about it because he don't know what he's missing.
And he think that's something serious. 10 or 15%, he really think he's doing something.
Is that 10 or 15 after you paid this person?
Yes, of course, because they ain't doing nothing for free.
I was gonna say because there's a fee coming out of that.
That's what I was gonna say. That's why I mentioned commissions.
I mean, there's
15 turn into 7-11 real quick.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. I always knew there's always a cost of something. Even with ours, we have a subscription package, but we charge. It's relatively small, but it's a monthly charge. But when you look at it, to know that you can make what you pay monthly in one day, and between when we put out our plays in one morning. In one morning, you can pay your monthly subscription. I mean,
the rest of the other days are yours.
Like when I get 15, when I'm up like 10 or 15%, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pissed some days. That's how that's how spoiled I am. Like there are some days I'll make a couple $100 and I'm pissed. I'm like, man, it was rough. It was a rough day. I made a couple $100, but then I have to put into perspective, like. If a bad day for me is making $100 to $200 a day, let's say it was $200 a day, that's 5 trading days. That's $1,000 a week. That's $4,000 a month. A lot of people don't make $4,000 a month, but I made that by, and this is passive trading, not active trading, because I put my trades in. I don't trade every day. Like sometimes I just let them sit there and they get in. They can get in on their own. They can get out on their own. It's just making money. I'm in plays right now. You said you're in BlackBerry. I'm sitting here on my other screen right here looking at Rocket. Because when it tumbled today, oh man, I went and bought me 8 contracts. So what did we learn today? 8 contracts is 800 shares. 800 shares, and I am about 30 cents from being in the money. If I don't make thousands. Hey, I'm a smart man. I got out and bought the dip and got it 8 contracts. I went from 5 contracts to 8 contracts, and I'm about 30 cents away from being in the money when I wake up. I mean, I could potentially make thousands of dollars, but before 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Hey, me too. Hey, I'm on the same ship with you, the same rocket ship.
Let's go. Oh yeah. So we can go ahead and start wrapping up. So obviously, let's start talking about our stock picks for tomorrow, like ones that we're really high on. I'll go ahead and say I'm strong on Rocket right now, and F Cell. Oh man, I'm buying F Cell. There's nothing wrong with that company. They barely missed on their earnings, but I'm buying into the not the news of today, but the technology, and I know that that's going to be the future of clean energy. I'm 10 toes down for F Cell.
I'm sticking with 2U. I've been, I don't know why. For a while. Yeah, I mean, 2U's been solid. It's had a little bit of a dip, but it's been pretty decent. The last real month actually.
What's that ticker?
TWOU.
TWOU. Okay. Jamie, what you got?
Hey. Right now, I haven't actually looked at any stocks. I don't have any picks right now.
What you sound like you was selling fuels. You was selling hydrogen. So
Yeah,
All right, but one thing I don't want to lead people astray until I look at volume, look at the analysis. But at least I give you the
hey. Hey. We meeting in person this weekend. We gonna set it up. If we had made you.
They get set up. They want to buy it. Now, how you get company? They set up right to us, right?
I mean, I just showed 5 of them with the same profile over the last couple of months.
They got the same joint.
The same profile, different price points, but the same profile. I mean, I'm seeing my convergence on my 20, 50, and 200 day. Oh my God. I mean, like when like a meteorologist, when they're looking at something, they call it the perfect storm, where you see everything, all these weather systems coming together. That's what I'm seeing with it. And I'm seeing an explosion about to happen. Boy, I'm excited.
Hey, I'm with you too. Hey, me too.
I feel it, man. I'm about hey, when I see all that, I'd be like, hey, it's a gun show this weekend. That's what I like to do with my money. But when I go off like that, I go buy me some toys. Yeah, Daddy need a new scope, boy.
All right. Gotta pay yourself, man.
Oh yeah.
gotta enjoy the money that you make.
That's why I've been.
Gotta take the profit.
That's why I've been looking at these dealerships, man. I already know I'm about to hit it big. I'm already looking. Hey, yeah, I'm looking. I'm about ready.
Hey, I feel you. So, hey, of course, I'm with the hydrogen game picks, of course. That. But I also got one more other pick. It's a pretty popular pick. And it's a chip manufacturer, AMD.
Oh yeah.
AMD. They just dropped some new technology. Got 3D chip coming out for the PC. So
what?
Hey, and guess what? Go look
Hey,
at the chart.
hey, you see?
Hey, that being right.
hey, you see me over here typing? Hey, look at you see. Oh yeah, look at that right there. We see this right here. We see like you see these moving averages that I had. You see that consolidation right there and that little pop. That right there was probably the news that you're talking about right here.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it came down. It's about to bounce off of those.
Who gave us a pattern, y'all?
I told them I was gonna be giving out some free game today. Nobody believed me. Hey, but even look. Hey, look at that. You saw that. That was AMD. If you blinked, you probably didn't even know that I changed it up and went to a whole new stock right here. Same profile. This is TSM right here.
No.
Yeah, look at that.
Not the chip company. Not the chip company is going handy right now.
AMD look the same as TSM. Oh, so I'm giving you options off the top of my head, so we doing this. This is not
had consolidation for a blink of an eye. Now Right back
Oh
up.
my god. Yeah.
Y'all, this is what we do every day, man. This is what we do. We make money and we brag
What a
about it.
price point. What a price
Get
point.
it.
That support too. That's it.
Man. Hey, we up, y'all. Per usual.
Man, so I mean, we gave you a lot of free games today. I probably showed too much on the screen, but if you think I showed too much, I tell you what, it took me 10 minutes just to fix my screen so it can show it to y'all. Man, I
There's
have,
more to show.
hey, cause I got so much, man. Hey, but let's go ahead. But before we wrap up, as always, if you are interested and if you like what you heard and you want to learn more, I mean, come to us. We have a free chat. Please go to www. You see it, hackthemarketstrading.com. Go to the website. Sign up. We have a Telegram. We have free watch lists. Please go in.
Free 99.
Free.
Free 99.
Free. You will learn money there. We not only make it easy for you, but we're there to help you. If you've never even put in a trade before, you don't even know what a stock is. We can teach you. We can teach you about stocks. We're trading with you. Real time, we're putting these in. You know, hey, hurry up and get in right now. If you get in right now at this entry point, this is when you get out. We're there to help you put in your first trade, and we're gonna celebrate with you when you make that first $200. When you make that first $1,000, we're gonna be there celebrating with you because we're probably gonna be in on it too. So, but great. We look forward to seeing you guys again. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and we will look forward to seeing you guys on next Monday again at 8 o'clock. Until then, stay blessed, visit us, and continue to make money. See you guys later.
Yeah.
All right.